hours later.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. Because what we know...
That has got to be one of the single most cringe moments in this already disastrous campaign. Everything about this carnival campaign is fake. Literally everything. And it just got even worse for Cackle's Kamala. We're going to see how her campaign is colossally imploding in real time. And we're going to see precisely why the worst is yet to come for this Democrat disaster. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive into Kamala's tailspin of a campaign, do you get stressed because your monthly income just doesn't seem to cover the bills anymore? You need to know you're not alone. Most Americans feel this way every single day. Everything is still ridiculously expensive, and we're all reaching more and more for credit cards to cover the basics like childcare, insurance, power, and food. It's tough, no question. And if you're feeling this stress and anxiety, you need to call my friends over at American Financing. Gang, they're helping hardworking Americans just like you tap into their home's equity to pay off their high interest debt and even create some additional savings to be ready for whatever life throws your way. With interest rates dropping, a company like American Financing that never charges any upfront or hidden fees is the perfect partner to help you get into a better financial position. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving homeowners, get this, over $800 a month on average. That's $800 a month. So don't wait. Give them a call, 866-889-1776. That's 866-889-1776. Or just click on the link below and visit americanfinancing.net/Turley. So here we are, just 60 plus days away from the big day in November, and I really don't think we can exaggerate just how bad things are for the Cackle's Kamala campaign. Now, you probably saw this. This is now the latest gimmick that Commie Kamala is using to avoid answering questions from reporters. AirPods. AirPods in her ears. She's got no time for any menacing questions because she's too busy listening to Taylor Swift or whatever she's listening to. Again, it comes across as so ridiculously contrived and forced and artificial. Everyone knows what she's doing. Everyone knows that she is openly admitting that the more she speaks, the more she opens her mouth, the less voters like her. Now, if you want to see how bad things really are for Kamala, guess where she's campaigning this week? She's actively campaigning in New Hampshire, Virginia, and I kid you not, freaking Minnesota. She's spending her time this week campaigning in otherwise reliably blue states that should be a slam dunk for the Democrat at this point. But they're not. Every single one of those states has Trump polling either inside or within the margin of error. And that's being made all the worse for Cackles with a slew of swing state polling that came out over the weekend that shows her campaign in an absolute freefall. Take a look at this headline from Newsweek. Now, Newsweek is one of the biggest shills out there for all things Democrat. But take a look at this headline just 2 weeks after the beginning of their convention. Harris trails Trump in 5 new battleground polls. 5 separate polls that dropped over the weekend from the likes of Trafalgar and Insider Advantage all show Kamala imploding. And so now we're beginning to see the election forecasters reluctantly adjusting their models accordingly. Take a look at old Nate Silver, formerly of 538. Old Nate, who's been a champion, an unbridled cheerleader of Kamala for years now. Take a look at this. According to his election model, Trump has opened up a double-digit lead in his chances for winning in November. He's now leading Kamala 56-44. Another election forecasting model from Quantis polling has Trump up by 11. And as it turns out, it does appear that when Kamala goes down to colossal defeat in November, I have no doubt that many pundits and prognosticators will look back at this past week as that point in time that marked the beginning of the end of this already fledgling campaign. Let's take a look at just how bad this past week has been, shall we? First and foremost, it is now official as we stand 2 weeks from when the Democrat convention began. The polling now has indeed confirmed that there was no bounce whatsoever for Kamala coming out of that convention. Nothing, nada. Now remember, historically, candidates, Democrats in particular, come out of their convention with a pretty significant bump in the polls. Hillary's up at this time in the race back in 2016. Hillary's up by 10. Biden was up by double. Quinnipiac had Biden up by 16 points at this time in the race at the beginning of September in 2020, just a couple of weeks after their convention. For Kamala, despite the legacy media's 24/7 fawning over this woman, their incessant gaslighting, their puff interviews, despite their month-long championing and cheerleading of anything and everything, Kamala, her convention was a dud. In fact, frankly, a dud would be an understatement. It was, politically speaking, a disaster. Kamala needed to come out of that convention with a significant bump, a double-digit bounce. If she was going to be able to weather the storm of the Kennedy-Trump alignment on the one hand, which gave Trump immediately a 2 to 3 point boost in the polls, particularly in the swing states, and to overcome the fact that Trump generally overperforms his polling by around 5 points, if she was going to overcome that, she needed a significant bounce, probably double digits. That didn't happen. I mean, forget double digits. Single digits didn't happen. And as we can see with the polling over the weekend, it's even worse. She's now trailing Trump in virtually all of the swing states going into the home stretch of this campaign. So that's the first disaster. But it gets worse. Not only did she get no convention bounds, but she then turned around and lost the debate on the debate. She lost the debate over the debate that she picked, right? She picked a fight demanding that ABC change the rules of their upcoming debate on the 10th, rules that had already been agreed on. And even the ABC was like, Kamala, forget it. The rules have already been put in place. We're not budging. So she lost the debate over the debate. She lost the fight over the debate that she started. And then, as if things couldn't get worse, now Kamala just got caught in a big lie. Kamala concocted a story that she's repeated over and over again on the campaign trail that she once worked at McDonald's. Just one problem. There is no record anywhere of her ever having any kind of employment at McDonald's ever, either in corporate records or in her past job applications when she listed out her previous employment. There's no mention whatsoever of McDonald's. They're calling it McDonald's Gate with memes of Kamala asking, would you like lies with that? And then, of course, just when you thought Cackle's week could not possibly get worse, she had the CNN interview disaster. I mean, gang, it was beyond it was widely mocked and ridiculed all over social media. The legacy media was forced to go into full-blown damage control mode. I mean, it was beyond embarrassing. But then again, as if her disastrous week couldn't possibly get worse, what did she do over the weekend? She sent out a tweet on Saturday, basically accusing the Gold Star families who lost their loved ones in that disastrous Afghanistan pullout that she helped engineer. She basically accused them of politicizing their pain. She actually blasted Trump for being the only public figure to show up at the ceremony honoring the 13 American service members killed 3 years ago in that disastrous withdrawal that she helped orchestrate and that she greenlighted. And Trump was there at the same time. Keep in mind that Biden was on the beach as part of his 14 straight day vacation. So needless to say, the Gold Star families did not take too kindly to Kamala's ridiculous and desperate partisan antics.
Vice President Harris.
Vice President Harris.
Vice President Harris, my name is Steve Nakui. I'm the father of Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nakui.
My name is Jim McCollum. I am the Gold Star father of United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley McCollum.
This is Mark Schmitz, Gold Star father of Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz.
My name is Darren Hoover, and I'm the Gold Star father of United States Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover.
My daughter-in-law, Sergeant Nicole Leanne G., was killed in the Afghanistan exit at Abbey Gate.
Our kids were murdered because of your administration.
You were not at Dover for the dignified transfer, and no time have you reached out to me to offer your condolences, to offer thank you for Kareem's sacrifice and service.
You have 13 families who have been waiting over 3 years to so much as get a phone call, to so much as hear our kids' names said aloud.
You failed for 3 years and 8 months to acknowledge our kids.
Where were you and Joe Biden on August 26, 2024?
You can see the rest of the ad on X or on other social media platforms. I mean, it's devastating. It's politically devastating. And again, I don't want to make light of the mourning and the pain that these families have and are experiencing, but Kamala walked right into that. Her political intuition is about as bad as it could possibly get. You pick a fight with Gold Star families? And again, just so you know, just so you're clear on whose side the legacy media is on, as if there were any doubt, take a look at this headline from the New York Times. Rather than blame their fellow commie Kamala for that disastrous tweet accusing Gold Star families of doing something they didn't even do, the Marxists at the New York Times are blaming Trump for politicizing what Kamala tried to politicize but failed miserably. All of this is to say that the past week has been horrific for Kamala, and given her latest blunder, it looks like things are about to get a whole lot worse.